Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima, and today is Sunday, June 28th. I'm going to be continuing to play the game Persona 3 Reload as a part of my Persona A Day series. That's why I've been playing the game one in-game day at a time, as it lines up with the real calendar. So as I like to do, I'm going to start off by going over what we did yesterday, just to make sure we're all coming into today with the same information. From there, we'll get into today's gameplay and see where that takes us. And after that, we'll come back here to the desk and talk about it a little bit. For any of you watching on YouTube, I will have timestamps in the description in case you want to jump ahead to a specific section. And also, please be aware that since this is a full playthrough of the game, we will be encountering spoilers. Alright then, so let's start off by going over what we did yesterday, Saturday, June 27th. It was a day at school, the last day at school for the week, so there was that excitement already. The school day itself was rather unremarkable. They didn't call out anything special in class, but around the school, before and after school, I heard rumors of a new variety. This time around, the rumors dealt with various couples being found around town, found together, found unconscious. As far as I'm aware, I hadn't heard anything like that before, but I heard it from a variety of places, not just students at school, but at the various malls, at the station. There were a lot of different people from all sorts of demographics talking about this, which lends a bit of credence to the validity of it. Kind of seems like this is coming right off the heels of hearing about the Revenge website. And I know that there's some truth to that because I had the link where I was able to visit the site myself. But this new knowledge about couples being found unconscious is definitely something we're going to need to investigate. The team and I talked about as much back at the dorm in the evening, but we'll get back to that when we get to the dorm. But anyway, I had some time after school after hearing about those rumors, so I wanted to spend some time with Yuko. It'd been a little time since I'd been able to do anything with her, and I just wanted to catch back up. And so together we headed to Wakatsu Kitchen. We didn't actually advance the rank of the Strength Social Link Arcana, but we did get a little bit closer. Looked like we had a good meal. We just were able to take it easy and kind of chat. I like to think we talked about how we were going to help the elementary school students that were training to win a race. Maybe we went over some training ideas or some regimens for the different members. Stuff to kind of get ourselves on the same page since we haven't officially started coaching them yet. That way we can come in together and just be fully prepared when we do get started. But it just looked like a fun, peaceful afternoon, and just a great way to start the weekend off on a positive note. So we enjoyed our time, got a little bit closer without ranking up, but then we went our separate ways. And I went back to the dorm. And like I said, this is where the team and I kind of talked about hearing those rumors about couples being found unconscious. And there's that prevailing thought of wondering if this has anything to do with the impending full moon and the shadow that comes with it. We still don't really know. We've got some ideas and speculation, but we're still kind of in the dark here. But we're going to keep that in mind as we get closer. And I considered heading to Tartarus. I've thought about that the last few nights. There's a couple people that wandered in there, and Elizabeth warned me that they need to be rescued. And she said that they've got until the full moon to be rescued. So while I don't want to put it off unnecessarily, I also noticed a couple social link opportunities last night that I really felt like I wanted to pursue while they were available. Not exactly knowing their schedules, or even if they were going to stay available to me. I first headed off to the Polonia Mall and saw the man in the suit. I had given him 20,000 yen the last time we had talked, in a rather dubious investment, potentially. And wouldn't you know it, I talked to him yesterday, and he said, bad news. That great investment I had, it didn't quite turn out as planned, but don't you worry, we can fix this. All I need is just a little bit more money. Just another 10,000 yen and this investment will be right as rain. Don't you worry about that. Leave it all to me. And, of course, by the same logic as last time, that should have been another red flag to say run, but I didn't. I stayed committed to hopefully forming a social link with the gentleman, and he was only asking for 10,000 yen this time, so that was a more significant portion of my remaining wallet, but I was able to come up with the money, handed him the 10,000 yen, and he had a nice devious smile on his face as he happily took the money and said, okay, you leave it to me now. I'll let you know when we've got some positive news to share. But until then, you come back another night. So that didn't actually unlock any sort of social link. He's going to, I'm sure, do good things with the money I added to my investment. And hopefully next time I talk to him, he'll have better news for me. But that did open up the rest of the evening to spend some time. So I wanted to follow up on a rumor I heard from Yuko in the afternoon. She'd mentioned talk of hearing a monk that likes to frequent Club Escapade. And that felt like news to me, since I go to Club Escapade fairly regularly and have never seen a monk there. But sure enough, when I went there last night, up on the second floor amidst all the couples, there was a monk. He had a cigar in his mouth and a brandy on the table in front of him, and he was just living his life up there. So I tried to approach him. Apparently I needed some courage, which I had enough of, thankfully. But he still took one look at me and just kind of barked. Who are you? What do you want? You look like some high schooler. Unless you're bringing me booze, get out of here. And that was it. He wanted nothing else to do with me. So I headed downstairs and saw the bartender just at the base of the stairs and had something new to say. So I walked up to him and said, hey, can I get some brandy for the monk upstairs? And the bartender looks at me, a high school student, and says, no, of course you can't. What kind of bar do you think I'm running? I'm not going to give brandy to a high schooler. No. But he said he would make a deal with me. If I would go around and take drink orders from the various patrons of the club and bring them back to him successfully and correctly, then he would take the drink up to the monk, which seemed like a fair deal and a very responsible one. So of course I said yes to that. Talked to some people around the club and tried to remember their drink orders. It was kind of touch and go, but I was able to remember all 4 correctly. And so the bartender made good on his word and took the drink up to the monk. Or he said he was going to prepare it and take it up and told me to go let the monk know it was coming. So I headed back upstairs and said, hey, your drink is coming. And he kind of looked me over one more time and said, really? Well, basically one of those I didn't think you had it in you sort of things. You're more ingenuitive than I thought you might be. So take a seat. Tonight I'll act as your guardian. That way they won't throw you out tonight. So I sat down next to him and we just kind of started to talk. And he asked me, what's the desire for being in a place like this? I know you're some high schooler and it looks like it's all glamorous and, getting to experience all these adult things, but the more you try to chase adult things, the more it makes you look like a kid. He was very much a down-to-earth kind of direct speaker. He wasn't talking in spiritual riddles or anything like that. It was, this is how it is. He did kind of say, the grass is always greener on the other side. And the things you think you want now, maybe they won't mean as much to you once you get them. And he mentioned as well just the fact that he was sitting there smoking and drinking. So I asked him, what does alcohol taste like? And he looked at me and said, I don't really know. I don't drink it for the taste. I drink it to get drunk. There's a lot of things in my life going on that this is the way I cope with that, for good or bad. He talked about how he's got a son that's something of a delinquent. He's always in trouble with the police. And it just doesn't sound like the monk is in the best place with his life, but he's also that realist of sorts and said, nobody ever expects to end up in certain things that they end up with in their life, but it still happens all the same. And who knows, it could happen to you too. But I could still kind of feel some level of interest between he and I, and he was intrigued, I guess I should say. To some extent, he seemed like he wanted to kind of take some level of guardianship over me and just, keep me safe in this environment. He said he was going to be my guardian for tonight to make sure I get thrown out, or that I don't get thrown out. But he also said, but if I see you here again wasting your time in a place like this, I will try to have you thrown out because, you could do better, basically. So it was kind of a back and forth, an interesting introduction to this character. As far as I'm aware, we didn't even, let each other know the other's name yet, so I'm still the high school student and he's still the monk. But there was a faint bit of a bond that formed between us. I respected his approach to things, and I think he saw something in me that he wanted to interact with as well. So that unlocked a brand new social link, the tower. So we reached rank 1 in the tower. It was nice to make a brand new social link. And so I stayed there a little bit longer talking, but before it got too late, he told me, it's like, okay, go home. It's getting too late. You shouldn't be out this late. You're a high schooler. Go home. So with that, I followed his advice. Not that I had much of a choice. Headed back to the dorm and got to bed. So that was a busy Saturday. Saw and did all sorts of different things. Potentially advanced a social link and definitely made a new one. So I felt like it was a good evening, and it should take us into hopefully a fun day off today on Sunday. I will get us over to the game, and we'll see just how Sunday goes. We'll be right there. Okay, and kind of a different place to jump back into the game. This was the end of yesterday, where I had unlocked the brand new social link with the tower. It's always been a fun part of my aspects of this game to enjoy unlocking a new social link. So I figured what better place to jump into today than to enjoy that new social link I made yesterday. So this is the Tower Arcana. Another well-detailed card, level 1 with the Unusual Monk.
Well, when you've had your fill, hit the road. Don't come back.
Yep, and so just like that, I decided to take that advice and head back to the dorm. So with that, I wrapped up Saturday. We're coming into Sunday and caught up with the real calendar again. There's no school today. Very seldom can I say that, but it's always nice to get to this day off and just be able to breathe that sigh of relief in the morning and get up and just know that the day ahead of me is mine. It's time for the home shopping show. That'll be kind of interesting because as you can see, I've got 10,999 yen left after some dubious investments. I still think, I'm going to watch the show because how can I not on a Sunday? So let's start with that. An irritatingly catchy song comes from the speakers. I don't find it irritating. I find it catchy, and I find it just that anthem of Sunday almost.
It's amazing commodity!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the home shopping show, Tanaka's Amazing Commodities. I'm your host, Tanaka, with a live presentation of my amazing commodities. We'll show you great products at unbeatable prices. So don't touch that dial, because you won't want to miss these.
I'm going to do it!
Today we're introducing the home gardening set. Perfect for those who've been dreaming of growing a lush garden at home. It's great for beginners, too.
Good.
First up, we have the onion sprout. And you get 2. These little gems will grow into the sweetest onions you've ever tasted. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. But wait, there's more.
Not bad, kid.
We'll throw in this, buff potato sprouts, too. Guess how many? 3. All this for just 2,980 yen. That's not a bad breakdown. That's 4 items. Not a huge discount. They're right around 700, give or take, at the flower shop, but it would cover me for a handful of weeks, which would be nice. I mean, it's stuff I'm probably going to buy at some point anyway, so I can afford. I keep saying that as my wallet keeps getting lighter, but I can afford that, right? We'll add the pressure here. This is a special limited product available today only. You heard right, today only. Although I guess there's not. Yeah, why not? You only get to do home shopping once a week. May as well take advantage of it. I bought the onion sprout set for 2,980 yen.
Thanks, kid.
Next time, we'll be introducing an office snack set. Don't miss it. That's it for today. We're all sold out. Sorry, folks.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next Sunday. Same time, same channel. The shopping program is over. All right. And I could definitely have argued for not buying them in the fact that I would kind of just buy these things one at a time, since each one takes about 10 to 12 days, give or take, to grow. I basically bought a month's worth of rooftop garden things. But again, it's stuff I'm going to buy eventually anyway, so may as well buy it at a slight discount. I do have to make it over to Tartarus eventually to rescue those people, and that will be nice to try to find some things to refill my coffers a bit. I'm seeing that computer there. Let's see what sort of messages I've got for the day first off. Only 2 today. We've got a new message from Maya. I'm a log on now. To the point. You like to see it. And I've really enjoyed spending Sundays in the online games, so right off the bat, that is kind of where my preference goes for how I want to spend the day. We've got an ad from Wakatsu as well. Healthy brain food. Are you eating well? Keeping a well-balanced diet nourishes your brain, which in turn can improve your studies. We prepare great food with all our hearts just for you. Remember, a healthy brain stems from healthy food. Wakatsu's got your back. All right, and how did everybody else spend their day? Very much on the social link side of things. The old couple with Maya, with Fuka, and with Suimitsu. It's nice to see that Suimitsu is also available on Sundays, so he'll be another one too. He does seem to have a bit of a broader availability, so that'll be nice. A few people went daily life. Still looking at that group. I can't spend time with Fuka just yet because I'm not courageous enough. And Maya is so limited that right now I can only spend time with her on Sundays that I say it every Sunday, but I like to prioritize that interaction. So right there is where I'm thinking I'll probably end my day, and the daytime portion of the day. I'll want to make sure that I take a Hermit Arcana with me, and I don't believe I've got one on me right now. Oh, I do. I was going to say, nope, I don't, but right at the very top here, here's Lamia. It's almost like it's meant to be. But that will be after I take a bit of a stroll. It's late June, so it's obviously getting hot out there. You probably don't need me to tell you that, but our character's going to be thinking the same thing. We'll head up and take a look at the rooftop. We've got our onions that we planted the other night. We'll take a look at those during the daytime hours here. Then I'll head downstairs, see who's around, and just take that little stroll around town before I cycle back to do some gaming. See some nice bright blue skies here. Those are the Amaronian sprouts I planted. I can harvest those on 7/6. Speaking of time-limited activities, I've got 2 days before the refrigerator is open enough that I can put that lukewarm taiyaki in there. I'm going to keep talking about that until I do it. It's kind of become my white whale here to get those taken care of. And I probably won't think about gardening today, since the game will likely remind me we've got those people lost in Tartarus, which, to be fair, is definitely a more valid thing to concern myself with than onions on the roof. I say that, but nope, apparently the onions are more on my mind right now. Maybe it's because it's the daytime hour and I can't actually go to Tartarus until this evening, potentially. I'll like to think it's that, and not that my character is just, that heartless. Well, let's head downstairs and see who's around. And let's also just keep that muscle memory going and take a look at the packed refrigerator here. It's still stuffed. Can't fit the lukewarm taiyaki, but on the 30th, 2 days from now, Tuesday, that'll be the day. And it looks like just like last Sunday, it's just Fuka down here. She's got the entire lounge to herself. Looks very nice and peaceful. I hopefully won't be there to distract her too long. I'll say hi. Also want to check what's on TV. Probably catch the tail end of Phoenix Ranger Featherman R. But then we'll make our way out. So Fuka, how was Sunday?
Morning.
There's nobody around today either. I wonder if they're all the outdoorsy type. Could be. I wonder if Junpei and Yukari are both at the shrine again today. That could be another fun place to stop. I've been trying to get there most days anyway, but especially on Sundays. Well, probably about a month ago now, when I was interacting with Maiko one time, I met her friend Stripey, who said he spends his Sundays at the shrine typically. I haven't seen him there at all since that interaction with Maiko, but one of these days I'm sure he'll turn up. Let's see what's on TV. On the next episode of Phoenix Ranger Featherman R. Episode 19, Believe in Yourself. There's nothing you can't do, Feather Swan. On to today's news. The number of apathy syndrome victims is increasing every day all over the city. So, looks like a little bit of fun with the end of Phoenix Ranger Featherman R, and then back to the reality of increasing notice of apathy syndrome. We've noticed that trend as well over the last few months, now that this is becoming kind of a routine. We've got 9 days, as you can see up above my head there, until the full moon. We've got some busy time coming up. We've got the full moon on 9 days from now. Shortly thereafter, we're going to have exams. So it's just everything's going to kind of come to head all at once. But let's start off here. And maybe I'll make my rounds. We'll take the train down to the station. We'll just kind of loop up, past them all and end up at the shrine before coming back and spending some time enjoying some online gaming. And nice just to be able to come here during the daytime hours and see this in a whole different light. Just as busy as it is, some afternoons, but just that knowledge that everybody's enjoying their day off or suffering from apathy syndrome, which is less nice. But just seeing the different busyness of the place that we're so used to seeing at other times of the day. And nobody's got anything new to say, so that means I guess I've been doing a good job keeping up with everybody. Let's head down to Port Island Station. I'm sure that the screenshot movie theater is going to be too crowded again today. That's kind of been the norm. Here's the skilled reporter. I think she was at the Iwatodai Station strip mall last time I saw her. But here she's back in front of screenshot. The victims of apathy syndrome can never get their normal lives back. Do you think that's true or not? I hope not. I'm not sure I would say that that's BS, but I guess between the two, I'm still going to take the optimistic approach, even if I'm not wording it as eloquently as I would prefer. So I guess that's BS. You got it. The symptoms of the syndrome vary from person to person, according to my hard-won information. Unconsciousness, loss of vitality, aphasia, mental decline. However, some only get minor symptoms and are back to normal life already. That is good to hear. It's also kind of an interesting leading question and asking what my beliefs were before presenting evidence that she's found to already prove the contrary. But I'm happy to hear that there is evidence to the contrary. Yep, can't go to the theater today. I could work here, but between that and social links, I need the money, but the social links are definitely going to be the longer term fun. I don't know why it caught my attention today, because it's probably been like that for a while, but I just noticed the window decorations over there with the people walking by. Kind of a nice little scene that just looks like the sort of thing you would see in a store somewhere. Full window advertisements, Tatsumi Mall here. And you know, it's got that orange theme, so it really leans into that summer vibe. Though if it's anything like a typical retail world, we're going to be looking at fall before too much longer. You know, if it's already July, then obviously the retail cycle's got to be one season ahead. Right, timid cat? Delinquents, you're looking well. And unapologetically my favorite character back here, the weak cat. Mew. Happy Sunday, weak cat. So I don't need to pick up a persona from the Velvet Room today. That is nice, because I'm running low on funds to do so in the first place. I don't need any weapons from Officer Kurosawa. I don't need any medicine from the pharmacy, so it should just be a nice little time to check in with our regulars. Also still notice that these people are still missing. I want to rescue them. I mean, I've got until 7/6, which seems like further out than it is because it's already the 28th. So who knows, maybe tonight will be the night for that. I don't want to commit to anything before I've got the full picture, but it will have to happen sooner than later. So Officer Kurosawa, I hope Sunday's treating you well. I want to thank you for the support, and I will continue to count on you.
You finished?
I am.
Come back soon.
Elizabeth.
Marvelous.
Oh, made a new social link. I can sense that the power growing within you stems from the bonds you have forged and nurtured. Here, it may not be much, but this is my gift to you. Please accept it. One more Twilight fragment. Always nice to have those on hand. I still can't foresee the limits of your potential. I look forward to witnessing you grow even further.
Are you accepting a request?
Yep, and we're still good here. Kind of wild to look at the numbers on those too, and think like I'm working on requests numbers 46, 7, and 8. I've completed 77 and 78. Yeah, they're all kind of grouped by type, so it's not really technically that surprising, but just looking at the vastness of the number of requests, it's exciting.
Very well, then.
But I'm going to stop in and say hi to Igor while I'm here. I've already got the persona I need, so this is just a nice social visit. Hopefully he appreciates that and doesn't see it as a bothersome intrusion.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Igor, Elizabeth, happy Sunday. I hope you're able to enjoy it. I'm not sure if you get days off in the Velvet Room, but hopefully you can make some time for yourself to do something you like to do. But I appreciate the help, and I'll continue to count on it.
We look forward to your next visit.
Igor is such a man of few words. I kind of wish I could talk more directly to him other than when I'm putting him to work with the personas, but that's just part of his mystique as well. And we're seeing more of these apathy syndrome sufferers around town. Pharmacist, it is hot, isn't it? Yes. Hopefully we're able to stay as cool as possible, but sometimes that's easier said than done. Medicine looks good, but I think I'm stocked up for now. I've got a week until the next full moon, so I'll have one more sale on Saturday to catch up on some shopping if I need to.
You got everything you need?
So for today, I do. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You know, I haven't walked into Kenneth Arnold and I can't remember how long, so it's Sunday. I might as well take a stop in there. CD shop Kenneth Arnold. Store sells a variety of music. We'll just pretend that I took a stroll through there to look at the various music that was for sale. Or I just watched from the door and looked longingly inside, but I'm going to say the same thing. I strolled through Game Parade here, so we just checked out both of these stores today. I could spend the day here, but I could play Punchboxer, Real Wheel Racer, or Edgar's House of Fortunes. All fun-sounding titles. There's Suimitsu, and again, he's another one I want to spend some time with since I've only interacted the one time, but like I've said with some of my other social links, it seems like he's got a bit more availability than others, so not necessarily a good reason not to spend time together, but it just means that it might be easier to fit him in compared to others at times. I don't see anybody over here at the playground, but I do see Junpei, Yukari, and Kanamata where I expected to see them. Oh, Shima-kun. Amada-kun was just telling us about the elementary school dorm.
By the way,
Speaking of which, Shima-san lives in the school dorms too, doesn't he? I do. Yep, that's right. He lives in the same dorm as me, Yuko-tan, and the others.
Oh?
What? It's okay for boys and girls to stay in the same dorm? Actually, it's usually not. But our dorm has some special circumstances. We're just cool like that, right, Tom? That works, yeah. It's probably easier than explaining the actual reason for it. We're actually like secret superheroes. That sounds more like an elementary school fantasy than just kind of being a little dismissive about it like that. But yeah, we're cool like that. So let's take some time to contemplate the sacred tree, take some deep breaths, and unwind as we continue our day. Everybody feeling good? Feeling relaxed? I hope so. I am. So let's continue on with our day. I think I've seen all that the town has to offer. Nice blue skies, probably another warm day, so it'll be nice to get back into the hopefully air-conditioned dorm. The allure of an online game calling. Maya there as well. I mean, it's good to socialize, but from a gamer standpoint, I get to play a game today. I'm finally off for the day. I can do something I like. And it's even better when it's with someone I like spending time with. Looks like Fuka's still enjoying her peace and quiet, so I'm not going to interfere with that any more than I already have. And part of the fun is actually being up here in the room and using it for more than just a place where I sleep at night. It's like, I do have, the mirror and the fridge here and the TV I watch from a standing position over here, but just to be able to sit down at the desk and get into some gaming and make this space more my own, just kind of feels good in that way. So let's first off save the game, which I realize I have not yet done today. Nice to catch up on that. And last time I talked to Maya, last time we did advance the story a little bit. She was talking more about her work as a teacher, wherever she works, and talking about some of the various co-workers she works with and the different ways they approach things. There's the traditional teacher, there's the other female teacher that she sees as... well, she had some catty remarks to make about that other teacher. I'll just kind of leave it at that. But again, she was just able to vent to me about the things that she's not able to, of course, say in a school setting or to her coworkers. And with that side, they're telling me to make sure you don't tell anybody this. But that's kind of that fun online anonymity. It's like you're probably not likely to encounter the same circle. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be careful with what you say and who you say it to, because obviously if you put anything anywhere, it could get to places you don't want it to. So there's still that common sense approach of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But it was nice to be kind of counted on to be that person she was willing to vent to. Let's double check with the way the game remembers what we did last time. Rank 7 already. Yep, Maya vented about her fellow teachers as usual. After letting it all out, she logged off in a better mood. And again, it's kind of fun to just be able to be there for her and listen to those concerns she's got without needing any sort of strings attached or anything. It's like she can just say what she wants to say. We'll game at the same time and enjoy each other's company, and we'll probably both walk away feeling better about it. I know I just saved it, but we'll save it again and spend the afternoon with Maya playing Innocent Sin online. Maya might be online at this hour. Well, she was before I walked around town, but that's fair that I may have walked around for a while. But I've got Lamia with me, so that will help. Okay, and this is another one of those where we might not actually advance our rank, but we'll still get a little bit closer. But even still, it feels like a fun way to spend my day off. I get to do some gaming. I get to chat with Maya just about whatever. It won't necessarily be an important story beat, but it'll just make us that much closer. It's that slow and steady approach to deepening a relationship. So I'm still going to spend time with Maya until nighttime. I'm in Shinagawa Dungeon. I see Maya. I chatted with Maya for a while. The bond between us is growing. And that's encouraging. I feel like our relationship will grow stronger soon. Next Sunday, we're going to be a lot closer to our deadline of the full moon, so it might be especially nice to have a bit of a break to unwind a little bit before the real action ramps up. But that will be for a future date. But it was nice to make even a little bit of progress today, just doing something we both like to do in each other's company, and making the most of our day off. It was online gaming, but as I've always been saying, if you like what you're doing, you're spending time, you're not wasting it. So Maya and I spent time together today, enjoying each other's company. And just like that, it's almost dark. I decided to log out and leave my room. It was kind of nice to get a walk around before coming and doing some gaming. I might look to stroll around a bit this evening as well, depending on what's out there. Oh, no one down here to greet me tonight. I wonder. Maybe they're already upstairs, or everybody's got other plans on their day off, just like I do. I guess I've got some mail. Let's start there. I could go up to my room to do that, but I've been up there all day, so I'll just prop up a wall here and take a look. A couple more ads. Wild Duck Burger, the wait is over. The weekend Wild Duck set is finally here. Plus your free drink that comes with the set will have extra ice. Peck away, Wild Ducklings. Secret recipes? Mysterious ingredients? Do you have the guts to go Wild Duck? And Wakatsu's also got a limited set today. Today we're serving up our special limited dish, only for our regulars, a full-course seafood set meal available at a reasonable price. We hope you will all try it. Remember, a healthy brain stems from healthy food. Wakatsu's got your back. I also like what the Wakatsu had here, just to kind of double back into that. But they talk about this being a limited special dish only for the regulars. But then they follow that up with a tagline of, we hope you will all try it. You know, am I on a mailing list that's specific to the regulars for this? I mean, did only us regulars receive this message? Or is this kind of one of those, like, hey, there's this big fancy meal. I hope everyone tries it. But be sure to be a regular or we're not going to serve you. Probably isn't the case, but it's just one of those things. I see an ad and my brain kind of starts to pick it apart. About that tangent aside, let's see how everybody else spent their evening. Alright, again, they've spent time with a social link for a name I don't know. Daily life activities, and 0% went to Tartarus, which makes me think there might not be a chance to go to Tartarus tonight. Or so many people already got things covered that there's such a minuscule amount that went that it barely registers. Well, I guess I'm out of options but to head outside, but maybe somebody's upstairs. Maybe a bunch of somebodies are upstairs. Let's take a look and talk to people. Fuka. Ah. Yep, and there was that rule that if both Sanada-san and Kirijo are unavailable, then we can't go to Tartarus. So if they're both out, that's why it looks like nobody went to Tartarus tonight. Looks like Kirijo-senpai and Sanada-senpai aren't around. So let's go to Tartarus some other time. I think I'll go to bed early tonight, since I usually stay up way too late. I can relate to that. It's always rewarding, too, when I get to bed early. It's some sort of, common sense life hack in my brain. It's like, wow, when I went to bed early, I got up the next morning feeling a lot more rested and productive. Yeah, I wonder if anybody else knows about this secret. It's like, that's not a secret, that's common sense. But I'm easily impressed, I guess. Yukari, how's the day? I wonder what's at the top of Tartarus. If this was an adventure novel, there'd probably be some kind of treasure.
Oh, hell no!
I got it. There's a giant piñata. And when you break it, candy pours out a huge banner that says, "Congratulations, you've beaten Tartarus."
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's it. Maybe there's some sort of device, and once we destroy it, Tartarus will disappear. I love Junpei's thought process on that, and just no, here's what's at the top. A piñata with candy and a banner. And it's and I'm unironically saying that. I love how quickly he came up with that vision of what's up there. It sounds a tad far-fetched, but if you think about it, everything we're doing with the school turning into a tower full of monsters at night is equally as far-fetched, so who knows, maybe it is candy at the top. There's that pessimist part of me that's is there even a top to the tower? Does it change every day and we just keep going higher and higher forever? But that's not going to deter this team, I think. Ahem. Junpei the Wise has come to a startling conclusion. That there is no top to Tartarus. I don't know, should I be excited or upset that it'd be on the same wavelength as Junpei? I like Junpei. I'm happy to be in that company.
Are you stupid or something?
Ouch. The game is really calling me out today. Whoa, he's finally snapped. I guess his brain has reached its expiration date. Actually, that's an interesting idea. It's almost philosophical. Thank you, Fuka. She's gonna make us feel better, hopefully. But wouldn't that create a big problem for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. All right then. Tartarus does have a top after all. Let's leave it at that. That was a fun exchange. I like the different takes on that. I kind of find it interesting that in one conversation, Junpei talked about there being a pinata full of candy at the top, but on the other, he says there is no top. And I appreciate Fuka kind of stepping in to mediate there and say it's an interesting philosophical take. It's a little less of a harsh blow than like, what are you, stupid? Has your brain expired? So, once again, though, Junpei and I are kind of having that solidarity moment. And, I was thinking the same thing he was. Well, I was going to head upstairs to look for Mitsuru and Akihiko, but if they're out for tonight, I won't find them up there. I doubt the chairman's around, but sometimes I guess he does work here, so maybe we will still take a step upstairs. And then we'll head out into the town and see what calls my name. Nope. Looks like a nice comfy place to spend some time, but the fact that everybody was down on the second floor enjoying their time looked kind of fun as well. Kind of a shame I can't, ask to join them, but I've got my own things going on. I actually ran right past them here, didn't I? Maybe that's why they didn't invite me to join them. And they're all kind of doing their own thing, too, just in a shared group like that. Kind of like Fuka and I reading the other day. The act of reading in and of itself was an individual action, but still doing it together, still had that level of camaraderie. So I'll just longingly watch for now and then head off for my own evening. Getting back to stretch my legs after gaming all day is probably kind of nice. And the fact that it's the evening now, maybe it's a little bit more bearable to be outside. Probably nothing on TV since I watched it earlier. Yep, the news is on right now. Turn that right back off. Let's head outside. There is a card at the mall there. So if the game tells me to go right, I'm going to go left. So we'll take the scenic route over to the Polonia Mall. It's been a couple days. I mean, it hasn't been a long time. We've got some sort of crow or something back on the trash here. That's another one of those details that's probably been there for dozens of nights, if not every night I've been past here. And somehow today I noticed it. Looks like a big one. We've also got an apathy syndrome sufferer down in front there. Again, just background details. They don't really change things, but they just add that much more depth to the world. But I was going to say, I don't feel like I've been to the Net Cafe in a little bit of time. I'm still somewhat of a regular there, and last I knew I had purchased everything available, but I'm sure one of these days they'll have new stuff. Makes me think I should head to Club Escapade as well and check in with the URL dealer. Nothing to buy there. I guess I could also look at Wakatsu Kitchen. It was fun spending time there yesterday with Yuko, and it would be something academic focused, with exams less than 2 weeks out now. I don't want to neglect my studies, even though it still feels kind of weird to say that going and eating a fish dinner counts as studying. It does improve my academics, so who am I to question it? Looks like a crowded place, and definitely just at quick glance I can see a lot more apathy syndrome sufferers. Again, stands to reason with us being nine days away from the full moon. But again, that's also kind of going to serve as motivation, especially having talked to the reporter earlier, and her findings do say that apathy syndrome sufferers do have some level of going back to normal after the fact. So it seems like we see fewer people suffering after we defeat a shadow. So again, we have no real concrete knowledge, but I like to think that if we can do that, that will hopefully cause this problem to abate a little bit. Yeah, I was going to check in with the URL dealer here. Oh, we'll pan way up there, but I noticed right up there I can see that social link card, so I wonder if the monk is back tonight. And the bartender's down here too. A lot of people to talk to, but first and foremost I wanted to stop by that URL dealer back here.
Go have a look for yourself.
See if he has anything new. And he's also got this Iwatodai forum note that I haven't bought yet. One of these days I really should, just to get this list cleaned up. But there are so many other more pressing things right now that just seem to be drawing my attention that little bit more. Bartender, How you doing today?
Hey,
Hey, what'll you have? Oh, it's you. You seem to come by here a lot. Maybe I'll hire you if we need an extra hand. That could be interesting. Kind of two birds with one stone. And nice that he says it that way, rather than like, I don't like high schoolers constantly showing up in my club. Would you please leave? But here is the monk again. So that could be fun, actually. I'm sure we remember what happened yesterday, since it was yesterday. I recapped it before we started the day, too, so I won't, go too deep into that. But the unusual monk. I met a monk who loves to drink and smoke. He immediately noticed that I'm underage and lectured me to never return to Club Escapade. So I'm sure he won't take too kindly to see me stroll back up the next night and say, hey, I learned nothing from what we talked about yesterday. But I don't believe I have the right persona on hand either. Yeah, I don't see a tower here. That was temperance, okay. I was like, wait a minute. But no, that was not a tower. Actually, the more I think, I don't know if I've encountered any tower persona yet. But I've got a reason to go stop back by the Velvet Room to take a look. And as I've said before too, technically I don't need the corresponding persona with me, but I always just like to have it if I'm able, because there's that kind of bit of extra free progress by having the right persona with me. So let's head inside and conduct some actual business tonight.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
I am back again, this time to check the compendium if you don't mind.
Please take a look.
I'll scroll through here with some speed. Oh, all right. I do not have any tower persona, not until level 31. Well, I guess that makes that decision easier. But even still, seeing that social link interaction is available still does kind of draw me that direction. It wouldn't be bad to work on some social skills, but for the same reason I prioritized social links last night, I kind of want to do that while I can. It might take an extra visit or two by not having the right persona with me, but if I wait until I'm level 31 before I even try, then I'll feel like I've missed out on a bunch of evening opportunities where I could have actually gained some progress with him. And I think it's a minuscule amount of extra gain, 1 or 2 points per night, which does add up over time for sure, but by constantly putting things off until I've got better means to do it, I might never start. That's kind of a problem I face in all sorts of interactions of my life, so I'm going to try to fight that tonight by spending some time with the unusual monk. Maybe we'll get close enough to know each other's names by the end of today. Well, let's save the game here. Let's see, back-to-back Club Escapade saves. Yeah, I think this will be a fun use of my time, though. Maybe I'll get to know a little bit more about him. Or maybe he'll admonish me for not heeding his advice and coming back literally the next night. Like, hey, I'm the kid you told me, to never come back here. You remember me? See if he follows through on his promise to have me thrown out this next time.
What?
What do you want? You're killing my buzz here. The monk seems to be drinking by himself. I feel like I might grow closer. Should I spend some time with him? Yeah, let's do it. Oh, wait, you're...
Hey, I remember you.
I'm glad it was just yesterday. But hopefully he remembers me for only the good reasons and not like some sort of, oh, I remember you. I told you never to show your face in here again.
I thought I told you not to come back here. Huh. Damn kids.
Well, I guess I remembered him telling me that as well, so I guess we can both remember things. And I guess I'm one of those damn kids that just doesn't listen to their elders.
Well, I don't care, as long as you don't get on my nerves. Have a seat.
Fair enough approach. I do kind of appreciate that. As long as you don't bother me, I won't make trouble for you. I can respect that. And the fact that he told me to have a seat, he didn't say, go sit somewhere else. I'm enjoying my time alone. I don't need you here.
What you doing here today, kid?
Nothing much. None of your business. No, I did come to see him. I saw him from the door downstairs and wanted to come up and say hi. I don't want to be that combative teen and you really fall back into that intentionally acting like a petulant child. It's like, none of your business, old man. I can do what I want. I'm a high schooler now. Like, no, I'm here to see you. Why else would I be in a bar at night? I can't really do a whole lot here. I guess I did come to do some shopping with the shady dealer downstairs, which, saying that sentence out loud sounds a little dubious. The guy who sells URLs downstairs. But at this point, I came to see him.
Quit joking around, kid. That's a good one. Watch your mouth, kid. I am your elder, after all.
I will try to keep that in mind.
You were my son, I'd give you a swift kick in the ass.
He did mention his son the other day and how he's had some run-ins with the police. I was going to say I haven't had that yet, but actually there was that night Akihiko and I went to dinner, or we almost went to dinner, and he was challenged to a fight by some thugs that we'd interjected ourselves in to try to save some girls that were being unfairly hit on. So technically the cops did stop us at that point, so I'm not as blameless as I was about to say I was. But maybe I will withhold that bit of information from the monk.
You don't have to revere me, but at least show some proper respect.
I like to think I've done that. I said I was here to see him. Maybe he took that as some sort of mocking jest, but that wasn't how I meant it. Both of these kind of seem like similar questions. Though saying show respect sounds like I'm questioning the idea about whether or not I would need to show him respect. So, as I talked about before this interaction, I would kind of like to have a name for the face here. He probably doesn't want me calling him old monk or unusual monk, and I'm not really sure I'm a fan of him calling me, punk kid or whatever he wants to call me. So how should I address you? Maybe that sounds a little overly formal and mocking in its own way. Ah, pardon me, good sir. How then should I address your excellency? Hopefully the game just takes it as a respectful, how should I address you?
Mutatsu.
Okay.
That's my Buddhist name, not my real one, of course.
I kind of had a hint or a feeling. I mean, full disclosure, I played the game before, so I have known, and it's been a little tough not to call him by this name before, but I'm sure we put two and two together tonight when we looked at how people spent their time, and the one social link they spent time with was that with Mutatsu. But now we have an official proper name for the face. This is Mutatsu, the monk. That's his Buddhist name, not his real one, of course.
That's Mutatsu-san to you.
Yes, Mutatsu-san.
The world's not a forgiving place, kid. You gotta show other people respect.
That's true. I mean, respect goes a long way. Whether or not well, I guess it's tough. You need to be cordial, and there's some level of, you can show someone respect without, I guess, technically actually respecting them, but it doesn't do anybody any good to be intentionally, needlessly confrontational. If I just came up to him and was like, "What are you doing here, old man?" It's like, that's picking a fight for no reason. But if I can just keep things properly respectful, I don't have to agree with somebody and still show them courtesy, I guess. Maybe that's the direction I'm trying to go. I can be courteous to someone and not necessarily respect them, but everybody deserves some basic level of consideration like that, whether, no matter what your thoughts are on things. Maybe I'm getting too philosophical talking with the monk. Let's get back to the actual story. Gotta show other people respect. I was lectured by Mutatsu, which I guess in turn led me to lecturing all of us, so sorry about that. It is true, though. I mean, he wouldn't be telling me these things if he didn't care to some extent. And it is good advice. I still stand by that. He could have really just told me to get out of here, flagged somebody down and said, "Hey, there's an underage kid here, get him out of the club." And he wouldn't have necessarily been wrong. So I do appreciate the fact that he did take the time to actually converse with me. Even if he told me some seemingly harsh life lessons, they're not untrue, so better to hear them from somebody who knows, too. I don't want to lean into the fact that just because he's older than I am, that he's, some sort of sage, even though he is a monk here, but there is some level of trying to learn from the experience of your elders. Easier to say at times than to actually do at others, but he wouldn't, again, be telling me these things if he didn't care to some extent. He would have just told me to get out of here. So I will take whatever advice he can give me, and whether or not I act on it is up to me at the end of the day, but I've got this information now. I feel like I understand Mutatsu a little bit better now. Very nice. It's 2 ranks for a new social link and 2 nights. We'll be at the top of the list before we know it. That's rank 2 of the tower, with the unusual monk, whose name we now officially know is Mutatsu. It was a good evening.
care what happens to somebody else's kid, but go home already, will you? And this time don't come back again.
I do like that too. I mean, he's trying to put up that gruff exterior to almost push me away, to not get close to a smoking, drinking monk like him. But, that kind of, not that I care or anything, but, it's not because I care, but go home. Don't come back. Not like I liked spending the evening with you or anything. But I will say without reservation that I did like spending the evening with him. With Mutatsu-san. I gotta properly address him. He wants me to go home. So, I guess that is that. I said goodbye to Mutatsu-san and went back to the dorm. And I mean, there is also that knowing the limit of spending time with him. I'm sure if I push things too far and try to act too far outside of where my station is, that he would say, this isn't a joke anymore. Get out of here or I will have you thrown out. And I think he seems the kind who would actually do it if he's pushed too far. So it's kind of knowing those borders and those boundaries. We'll talk for a while, but when I tell you to go, you go. So, nothing wrong with that. So I said my goodbyes and went back to the dorm. All right, just like that, it's the end of the day. I will get us back to the desk and let's talk about it a little bit. All right, then. So that was the end of Sunday, June 28th. It was another really good day. Always nice to get to these Sundays and have a day off to just kind of approach the day in whatever direction I can. It's just so nice and freeing to be able to take that break from the regular cycle of it all. And I won't say that I got up to anything, groundbreaking or world-changing, but you don't always need to do that on your days off. You just need to recuperate and enjoy. And I think that's what I definitely did today. There were no calls in the morning like I've been seeing on some weekends, so the entire day was mine. Started off with a home shopping show in Tanaka's Amazing Commodities. I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I should buy the gardening set. Again, it wasn't any product that I specifically needed, but I kind of fell victim to that today-only mentality and the act of actually just being able to order something and enjoying waiting for something to come in the mail for that. So I've got some onions and some buff potatoes coming on whatever day this week they get here. It usually seems like it's around Tuesday or Wednesday. And it was a good enough deal. Not a huge sale, but again, stuff I was probably going to buy eventually anyway. I figured I might as well get them a little bit cheaper. And from there, I made my way around. I saw Fuka downstairs in the lounge, enjoying her solitude on her computer there. She was nice enough to acknowledge me, but I was also able to read the room well enough to realize that she probably wanted to enjoy her time on her own. I'd have been in the very same boat if I were there, so I can respect that. So I headed out, did my walk around during the day. Noticed the warm weather, obviously, like we're all dealing with in real life here. Had the pharmacist at the Polonia Mall constantly referring to how warm it is outside. But it was nice to just, again, see the sights. Talk to Yukari, Junpei, and Amada at the shrine. Nice to kind of see them. They've been there every Sunday, so it's nice that they make time to spend with him. They were talking this week he was talking about the elementary school dorms and comparing it to the dorms we live in. And he was very surprised to learn that we all stay at the same dorm. That, that it's a mixed dorm. It's not just, boys in this dorm, girls in this dorm, like he's used to, and like almost all dorms are. And he's right to be confused on that, because that is very atypical. And Yukari kind of said, oh yeah, there's a unique reason for that, and just kind of left it at that. But he seemed like, oh, okay, that's still interesting though. But it was nice to catch up with all of them and see them in something new. I made my way to the Velvet Room because I wanted to, say hi to everybody, but I didn't actually need to make a persona today, so I just wanted to say hi to everybody there. I was thinking, I did go there for something, but that wasn't until later. But I wanted to spend more time with Maya again this week. I'm going to sound like a broken record on Sundays here, but that was what I wanted to do. Enjoy some online gaming with a friend. And it wasn't enough to increase our social link rank to the next level yet, but it was enough fun to enjoy the afternoon, talk about whatever we did, game for as much as we did, make whatever in-game progress we did. And the game said we'll probably be able to become a little bit closer and increase our rank next time. So that was nice. Again, it was one of those just forward steps that wasn't an entire climb to a new level, but it puts us that much closer up that ladder, basically. We're not there yet, but with more diligence, we'll hit that next plateau next time. And that was a lot of fun, so I headed back downstairs to kind of stretch my legs after that, and the lounge was totally empty, which was kind of unusual. I figured everybody was out doing something with their evening. Only had a couple ads to read through on my phone. And I headed back upstairs, and all three, Yukari, Junpei, and Fuka, they were all in that little alcove there where I've read some manga and some books before. And it was kind of fun to see them. Talked to Fuka, and she made mention that Mitsuru and Akihiko were out for the night, so without them, we're not allowed to go to Tartarus. So that kind of took me one decision off the table for me. Hopefully I don't miss too many more of those. I don't want to let it go too long for those people that are trapped, so... Sooner rather than later, I do need to actually prioritize that. It's fun having the evening to do other things, but I don't want to do other things at the expense of other people, so... That will be more of my priority going forward this week before I run out of time. But that wasn't an option for tonight, so they were kind of talking about speculating what the top of Tartarus was like. We have no idea how tall Tartarus is, what is at the top or anything. Fuka had the fun thought that there's some sort of treasure up there if this were some sort of adventure story. Yukari was just wondering what it could be. And Junpei just said, oh, obviously it's a piñata full of candy and a big congratulations banner once we get there. And I kind of liked hearing that thought. How quickly he was able to come up with that scene and just have that conviction that, yeah, that's what's up there. But then I also talked to him and he said, rather than that, maybe there is no top of the tower. Which was ironic because I'd kind of thrown that idea out there as well. It's like, what if there is no top? What if this tower just keeps changing every day and it never ends, sort of thing? And so it was kind of fun for my very next conversation with Junpei to have him be thinking the exact same thing. It was kind of one of those high-fiving each other. It's like, yeah, man, I was thinking that too. Only for Yukari to then mention to Junpei, and by extension me, saying, what are you, stupid? Did your brain stop working? Of course there's got to be a top. If there's no top, what are we exploring for? And that, was kind of a gut punch there. But Fuka was nice enough to step in and say, well, maybe it's an interesting philosophical idea about, about the limits of our exploration and our dedication and all those things. So she wasn't as direct and harsh as Yukari was. Not that Yukari meant anything actually mean by it, but it was just kind of one of those... I felt that one just as much as Junpei probably did because I said the same thing he did. But it was all in good fun. We all kind of just talked it out. It was just kind of one of those back and forth. Nobody meant anything negative by anything. It was fun to just share that mentality with the team, to see everybody else's stance on what the tower is without us actually being in the tower. But they seemed to have their evening figured out, so I decided to head out for my own. And I'd noticed a social link opportunity at Club Escapade. I'd actually gone in there to talk to the URL dealer to see if he had anything new to sell, and he still has one forum note that I haven't purchased yet. But while I was there, I noticed the social link icon up on that balcony area where the monk was, and sure enough, he was back again tonight. So without anything else calling my name, I figured it was a good thing to spend some time there. So before I talked to him, this is where I actually went back to the Velvet Room and talked to Igor and Elizabeth, because I wanted to see if I could pick up a tower persona to help out with this interaction. And along the way, I wasn't quite sure if I'd even encountered a tower persona yet, and sure enough, I have not. The first tower persona isn't until level 31 or something, so I'm about 5 or 6 levels behind that still. We're getting closer, but that kind of made that easier as well, because I'm not missing out on anything. I literally don't have a tower persona to take with me, so I was just doing it myself tonight. So I went back upstairs and talked to the monk. And he seems like he'd been enjoying some drink up until now, and was kind of asking, who are you? What are you doing here? Before he kind of recognized me from yesterday and said, wait a minute, I remember you. Aren't you that student I told never to come back? And I'm like, yeah, basically, that's me. I ignored you, didn't I? And he said, oh, well, yeah, whatever, you're here. Why don't you sit down at least? So he didn't instantly turn me away, which was nice. But he got to talking more about how people need to start showing proper respect to people. No matter what I think, he is my elder and should be respected as such. He's not inherently wrong there. We kind of got off on some of our own philosophical tangents about respect and courtesy and all these things, but it gave me the option to ask, how I should address him, because technically we haven't introduced each other yet. And he told me, my name is Mutatsu. It's my monk name. It's not my real name, but that's how you can address me. And that's Mutatsu-san, by the way. You're going to address me properly. So it was nice to actually make a real connection there with having something as basic seeming as a name. Rather than me just calling him the unruly monk or the unusual monk or the old monk or whatever, I can call him Mutatsu-san. And hopefully I was able to introduce myself as Tom Shima so that he doesn't call me the high school punk, the kid who doesn't listen, the kid who shows up when I tell him not to come here. Although, from this side of things, I think he's going to be more direct with me than I can be with him because of that respect dynamic. But I appreciate and I understand that, and I will try to keep things properly cordial. No sense living down to that reputation of the unruly student. if he wants me to show respect, I can prove that I can do that. But we talked a little bit more about just general things like that. He was talking about his son. He doesn't show respect either. Yeah, that's the problem with young people. They don't know how to respect their elders properly. So I'm going to try to break that stereotype and go against that mold going forward here. And he said, I could spend some time just chatting with him. He doesn't know why anybody'd want to, but if I seem to want to so much, he might as well let me. So we spent the evening together just talking. And I had a good time. He seemed to as well, even though it was kind of one of those, not like I had fun or anything, but you should probably go now before it gets too late. I wasn't enjoying this or anything, so I won't miss you when you're gone, but it's late enough that you should go now anyway. So it was nice to hear that that little bit of potential affection he has for me there. Again, maybe it kind of stems from that unruly son he has and being able to have that connection. Or maybe it's because I am actually trying to show the respect that he wants from somebody. Either way, we got that little bit closer. Our biggest accomplishment was having names for faces now, so we can properly address each other. And that's just going to be that good foundation to continue building the social link from here forward. So I took the tower link up to rank 2. I did heed his advice when he told me to go home, so I made my way back to the dorm. I got back there at a decent hour, got a good night of sleep, and it was just a really fun way to spend my day off. They're so few and far between, really only happening on Sundays, that I felt like I did enjoy it as best I could. I, again, didn't change the world with anything I did today, but I had fun. I did some gaming, I made some social connections, and that, I feel, just kind of prepared me to hit the week starting tomorrow in a good way. I'm not going to be run down from anything I did today, and I'm not going to be wishing I'd done more. It's not like I'm going to look back at the weekend and say, oh man, where did it all go? I wish I'd done this and this, but instead I did that. Man, that was a bummer. It's like I can look back at Saturday and Sunday and think of all the fun things I did. I spent time with Yuko. I spent time with people at the dorm. I spent time with Mutatsu-san a couple nights now. I got to do some online gaming. Yeah, I can look back at all the fun I had and kind of also see that, okay, I had my fun. I got time to recharge, so now it's time to get back to work on Monday, basically. Nobody really wants to do that, but that's life, isn't it? So either way, it was a really good weekend. I'm glad I spent it the way I did, and I feel ready for the new week coming off of that. So with that, we have reached the end of Sunday, June 28th. It was a lot of fun. I made good progress, and I can't wait to see where it goes from there. And I want to thank you all so much for being here to share it with me. It means a lot to me that you want to spend your time with me, and I will hopefully continue to live up to bringing the fun from my side of it. I've been Tom Shima. I stream this Persona a Day series live on Twitch every day at 12:30 Eastern Time. Anytime you want to join me, I would love to have you here. I've got that schedule posted as well, so it should convert to your local time if it's easier to see it in your own time zone rather than me always talking about it in someone else's. And I get that everybody's busy with other things as well, so if you're not able to be here live, don't worry. I totally understand that. Other obligations must come first. But I upload every day's playthrough to a playlist on YouTube. So anytime you want to catch up on a previous day or the current day, those should all be available there to watch on demand at your own schedule. Whatever works best for you, that's why they're up there. I hope we all have a wonderful Sunday. It's the weekend now, so hopefully you're able to take some time to spend doing things you want to do, being with the people you want to be with, and getting as prepared for the upcoming week as you're able to. For those of you who are busy today, I hope you're getting through it as best you're able, and that you'll be able to get to your own fun and free time sooner rather than later, and in good spirits when you do. Either way, let's just all make it the best day we can, and keep going forward on a positive note. Once again, I've been Tom Shima. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it, and I hope I can see you again sometime. Until then, goodbye.